just taken my glasses off. I sometimes find it easier doing this when I don't see anything. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's not vanity, I can tell you that much. It just pisses me off sometimes having to wear glasses all day. It's quite tiring. Anyway, I thought I'd come on this evening. My wife's out this evening with some friends, and I thought, what shall I do? I'll do a little video. How about that? Something I've been thinking about recently. Now, what I'm going to talk about, this is my own opinion about something. Now, it's whether you agree with me or disagree. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, perhaps. Well, not perhaps, I would. So I follow a YouTuber, just let's call him that. Really, I've followed him for a number of years now. He doesn't know I exist. It's no one that I interact with on this channel. He doesn't know who I am. But I followed his content for, well, probably ever since I've had a channel, so over 6 years. And I watch his stuff on a regular basis. So he reviews all kinds of stuff, mostly books, really. But whatever, film, whatever. And I love listening to him because he's a very intelligent chap. Talks amazingly fluently, unlike me. This is something I would love to aspire to, but will never achieve, if I'm completely honest with myself. Occasionally you meet people like this in life, and it kind of it humbles you. And so the way he speaks, it's the way I could get close to if I were taking my time and writing it, perhaps. But this chap just does it off the cuff, and it's such a wonderful thing to be able to do, to articulate yourself that well. Articulate. See, I mispronounce things all the time. I don't have the vocabulary. I sound completely terrible here, but I wish I could talk the way he does. Let's put it that way. So, yes, what's the problem? What's the problem, Jimmy? What have you got a bug to bear with this chap? I do. To put it quite simply, I do. And I'll continue to listen to him as long as he exists, because I get a lot out of it, I must say. But one thing that really annoys me is that the intrusion of his own ideas, his own political leanings, his own ideologies, the way they inform his reading of said artwork, whatever it is. I hate that. I know it's impossible in some ways to not, when you're reviewing a book, when I attempt to review one, I'm going on what I personally like, and I guess what I believe in as well, my sense of morality and various other things, my sense of humour, whatever. So you are coming to it from the standpoint of your own personal take, who you are, how you examine this piece of work, and therefore how you describe it to other people. That's inevitable, of course. But when you have very strong ideas, politically speaking, perhaps, or whatever it is, and you're looking for that in a piece of work, and that's what you're extolling, how amazing it is because it fits into your idea of what something should be, or what an artwork should tell people. I think that's a problem. Now, I try to come at things from, I suppose, everyone has their own opinions on things, but I never like to, I'll never talk politics on here, for one thing, or my value system for whatever. I try to keep everything relatively on the level, if you will. I think by now, if you followed me for any length of time, you've probably got a fairly good idea of who I am, perhaps. But I think that's enough. I don't think you need to know too much more than that. But this person, I suppose, has a kind of laser focus and a very, very strong opinion. And there's no deviation from that. It's that or the high road kind of thing. Like it or lump it. And I kind of respect that in some ways. If you have strong views and you want to stand by them, fair enough. But when you're turning that focus on a piece of artwork that is intertextual, it's open to multiple readings, I think that's a problem, because you're saying this piece of work, this book, is about this. But is it? I mean, it's more like this person saying, this is what I think it's about and what it should be about. And so that's what it is. I don't like that. And at the same time, this person is intelligent enough to know that any kind of art is open to interpretation, the death of the author and all of that. Postmodernist reading of art is, it doesn't really matter what the author essentially intended. Perhaps it's about what the reader or the viewer, the person that's consuming the artwork, what they make of it themselves. So these kind of readings, I mean, this person collaborates with other people, and I love listening to them all talking. There's more than, I won't say how many. I don't want this person to find out I'm talking about them, basically. I don't think that would ever happen, but even if it did, doesn't really matter. But I love listening to them trying to outcompete each other. Now, this is another thing that's a bit of a bugbear, is this: when you're that clever and you're that articulate, and all of these people are of a similar level, shall we say, you can tell they're kind of trying to outdo each other. But they all have very similar ideas, and so they're also trying to back each other up, and kind of patting each other on the back. That's another thing I don't really like either. But I get a kind of perverse joy from listening to it, because whether they're aware of it or not, their egos are writ large when they're doing these in-depth discussions. And I mean, there's lots to gain from their readings of stuff. I mean, I disregard a fair amount of it if it doesn't fit into the way the things I believe in or I hold dear to me or whatever. I don't rigidly ascribe to their readings, but they have really interesting insights. They go into the minute details of things. But the trouble is with that is that they're really looking at it in such a way, and like a microscope. They're going so far down that they're seeing things that they might be there, but it's like looking at a blotch on the wall, a piece of mold in the shape of or a cloud. You can see this, or you can see this, or whatever. But they're making great pains to this bit and this bit. Look at the way they join and all this kind of shit. Wasn't intended, but they're suggesting sometimes that these things were intentional. I'm thinking, there's no way in hell that was being considered. That's just pure chance. That's what you're reading into it. But there we are. Anyway, I don't know where I've been going with this, but it's just something I wanted to get off my chest. And so, yeah, please don't read it as me being, jealous, perhaps, of this kind of thing. It's not that at all. I openly admire people that can talk fluently and are intelligent enough to discuss these topics in any greater detail than I do. I mean, it's relatively surface what I do, but I try to tease out things that I think are interesting to me, and perhaps they're interesting to you, or perhaps they're not. It doesn't really matter, but I'm not trying to ram shit down your throat, my loves. That's something that pisses me off. Is this called a rant? I think these kind of videos can be called rants, can't they? But I'm certainly not calling them out personally, and perhaps I'm wrong with this take. I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I mean, I don't know. I just think having a very, very specific reading of an openly textual artwork is wrong. You can say what you think or what you see, but trying to push it as though that is the be all and end all is wrong. Anyway, there we are. Cheers. Thanks for watching. I may not put this on, I don't know. Anyway, cheerio, my lads.